Self-efficacy and self-confidence are inextricably linked. First, let's start with the definition of self-efficacy. The term was first coined by renowned psychologist Albert Bandura and refers to your belief in your own abilities to accomplish specific tasks or goals. It's about having confidence in your capacity to succeed, and it is particularly important in the work context. Psychologists have found that if a person has lower levels of self-efficacy, that they are more likely to focus on feelings of failure rather than success. People with higher levels of self-efficacy are more likely to cope better in inadverse situations. The good news is that self-efficacy isn't a fixed trait. It's a mindset that you can cultivate and strengthen over time. Self-efficacy can help you work on your self-confidence, and with the following strategies, you can enhance your self-efficacy. Focus on developing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. It's the opposite of a fixed mindset, which assumes that your abilities are static and unchangeable. You can develop a growth mindset by facing new challenges with resilience rather than fear. For example, when faced with a new work responsibility, tell yourself, I may not be able to know everything now, but I have already learned so much in this role. I can adapt and improve over time with the right amount of practice. Take a moment to reflect on the area of your work in which you can practice developing a growth mindset. Enhance your self-efficacy by taking action. In our last video, we discussed how an action-oriented approach will help you develop your confidence. The same is true for developing your self-efficacy. Taking action, especially when faced with uncertainty or difficulty, can significantly boost your self-efficacy. Here's how you can apply this in the workplace. Seek opportunities to tackle new projects or responsibilities, gradually expanding your comfort zone. Gather feedback from your colleagues about your performance, management style, and general work. Focus on remembering the positive reinforcements, while also making an effort to work on the areas of improvement. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small, to reinforce your sense of self-efficacy. Leverage your strengths for a stronger self-belief. Recognizing and leveraging your strengths is another key strategy to enhancing your self-efficacy. To get started, you can apply the strengths-based approach, which involves focusing on improving your strengths rather than your weaknesses. According to research by Gallup, a strength-based approach can help individuals feel more confident, self-aware, and productive. To apply the strength-based approach to your work, start by identifying your top 3 strengths. Write them down and get specific about each one. When and how do you use this strength? How can you incorporate it into your management style? And how can it benefit the people you work with? How can you continue to use this strength and further hone it in your work? If you're struggling to write a list of your strengths, think about something that comes naturally to you. Perhaps you're great at maths and you can crush any complicated formula in an Excel sheet. Or maybe you're creative at heart and always have fantastic ideas about campaigns. Consider thinking about other areas outside your work as well. What are you good at in your personal life? Can you use these strengths to your work context as well? For example, if you're an excellent birthday planner, perhaps you can use that event management strength that comes naturally to you to set up a future work event. Invest time in discovering more about your strength, ideally by discussing this topic with different people in your life. Having honest conversations about each other's strengths can be fun and insightful at the same time. Encourage your team to also investigate and nurture their strengths. You can also reach out to a professional, like a coach or a psychologist, to help you define those strengths. Next, there are plenty of resources online, as well as online personality tests to help you identify your strengths. These tests do not provide truths, and the outcome should never be used too literally. However, the tests can provide talking points to have a proper conversation about your strengths. It's also a good idea to ask your colleagues for feedback on your strengths. Often, other people may be able to see our strengths more clearly than we can see them ourselves. Next, apply these strengths to your work with an action-oriented approach. Think about 3 scenarios in which you can apply your strengths and make a list of small, manageable steps that you can take to make them happen. For example, if one of your strengths is time management, you could invest time into leading a team meeting more effectively. An example step would be to implement a more structured agenda to the meeting to help you keep track of the meeting's progress. When you see tangible results from your strengths, your belief in your capabilities will continue to grow, ultimately helping you become more self-confident in your role.